Welcome back to Hardware Unboxed for another episode of things in boxes getting taken out of boxes and shown to you on camera. That seems far too descriptive. We've settled on a name. We've done it a heap of times now. Anyway, it's the series that inspires so many young kids to become tech YouTubers. So, I'm just wondering, do you get to keep all the hardware? And how do you ask companies for it? Do they just send it out? I think I'll start a YouTube channel too because I want free stuff. Well, little Billy, it's really quite simple. Start by reviewing the computer hardware you already have. Maybe get some gear from your friends and review that as well. Create some guides and tutorials based on that gear. Then after that, invest about $10,000-ish on extra hardware, camera gear, lighting, and so on. Then spend about, say, 1 or 2 years working basically for free, grinding away, creating a video at least every other day. And then you'll probably have put yourself in a position to receive some cool free hardware. Though be aware, nothing is really free. The hardware will have to be reviewed, so that'll be more work, and you will have to generate some kind of exposure for said hardware, or the manufacturers simply won't send it. Nah, gotcha. I'm just kidding. Start a YouTube channel with some dumb name like Hardware Unboxed, fire off a few emails, and voila, let's get unboxing. Right, so I think first up we'll get rid of this big case box. Alright, I'll just put all that aside there so we don't knock anything off because I haven't got that much desk space. And yeah, not a huge mystery as to what we have here. It's a rather large, or really a typical size ATX, standard ATX mid-tower size box, but it is from Silverstone and it is their Primera PM01. And it is the RGB version. It looks like we've got, I don't know, there's a few different versions here, so I don't know if it says on the box which one we've got. I don't know if all the boxes are the same. They probably are. But there's one with a cool, kind of, looks like a unicorn type design. I don't know what we have here. It doesn't seem to say on the box. So at least some of this, or this portion of the unboxing boxes, will be a surprise. Are you ready? Here we go. Whoa. And it's upside down, but it's around the right way kind of. So, not a complete fail. Well, it is black, and it looks like it's probably the matte black version. Alright, the final unveiling. Are you ready? I know you are. Here we go. Alright. Hopefully this is framed okay on camera. If not, I'll chuck up some B-roll anyway. We've got double plastic here, not one layer. Well, now we've got one layer. Oh. Can you tell it's very cold in Melbourne today? Okay. Get off. There's always one. So as you guys can probably tell, this has a tempered glass side panel, and it's got quite a heavy tint on it. So you can't, it doesn't show up the mess inside the case, but things like RGB lighting, of course, that will shine through quite nicely, and yeah, basically the stuff you want to highlight will look good. So it looks like we do have more plastic to pull off. Okay. I won't need to go to gym today because, you know, I go to gyms. Alright, so impressive thick tinted panel, and we've got a black strip at the bottom which hides sort of the mess at the bottom of the case. I think it's also so the RGB, looks like we've got like a built-in light strip here. It sort of makes that effect a bit more impressive. I'm going to sit this over here, hopefully I don't smash it. Let's have a look what we've got here. So I suppose I should tell you how much the case costs before we get too far into it. Okay, so there are basically two models of this case. There's the higher end RGB version, which I have, and that is, I believe it's about 130 US or $180 Australian. And then you can get a non-RGB model which comes with fixed color lights. I believe it's either red LEDs or blue LEDs depending on the color you get. And that's a bit more affordable at $110 US, or I think it might be 160 Australian. Could be wrong on those pricing, but it's somewhere around there. So it's not super expensive, but not cheap either. So I believe what I have here is the matte black version. RGB lights, so you know you can set the lighting to whatever color you want, so it could be quite a colorful affair. But it'll also come in a titanium color, so I believe that's some sort of grayish color, and then of course white. So yeah, and then, or alternatively you can get it in a gloss black, I believe, or it's a black that's not a matte black. So pre-installed up front we find three 140mm RGB fans with a, looks like a 140, just a standard sort of fan in the back. Having a look here, I'll chuck up some B-roll, but there's a cool built-in RGB sort of light strip along the bottom here. That's not something you often see in cases, so that's pretty cool. It's very custom. And then you've got a basement section here for the PSU and all the cables, and there's a couple of cable grommet holes here and there, and I imagine the whole back section's opened up. There is quite a lot going on around the back here. Let me try and work out and explain what we have. So it looks like we have a fan hub here. So we've got 3 fans already plugged into the fan hub. So you can put 5 more into there. So it looks like it does 8 in total. Couple of Velcro cable tie spots here. So that's cool. We're starting to see them used quite commonly. Then it looks like this is probably an RGB controller. Yeah, no, look, that is an RGB controller there. So there's a switch here to turn the RGB lights on and off. And I believe this can then be hooked into your motherboard. So if you have like Aura lighting, or you know the Asrock RGB lighting stuff, or MSI's Mystic lighting, that can hook into that. And then using your motherboard through the software, you can control the fans RGB lighting as well as the strip. So you'll see we've got at least the 3 fans in the front hooked into it, and we have the RGB. Is there an RGB strip in the top? Yes. So there's an RGB strip pre-installed, custom RGB strip in the bottom and the top, so that is going to give an amazing lighting effect, especially behind that tinted glass window. And they both plug into here as well. And it looks like it's possible to plug at least 2 more RGB type devices into that. It is powered by a SATA power cable. That's the fan controller, the fan hub. So SATA power cable will power it all, and that is awesome to see. I hate it when there's 4-pin Molex connectors. So yeah, SATA power, awesome. And then off this fan hub, it can be PWM controlled via the motherboard. There's a 4-pin fan header which will go to the motherboard, so that can control the whole hub. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, it's looking like for the money, it's very well equipped. A lot of really nice features. The LED light strips are really impressive. I wasn't planning on doing a build in this, but it's really cool. So we might have to do something like that in the near future. Something unique about the RGB stuff with this case is the fact that they have got these really cool looking fan grills, and they are what is RGB lit on this case. So the fans behind them are clear, so the RGB, or the light emitted from them, will go through the fan and give you that cool RGB fan look. But yeah, they're something a bit different. There's quite a few different things about this case. Silverstone are definitely trying to sort of set their cases out from the sea of RGB tempered glass cases that now exist on the market. Alright, big case out of the way. Time to get into a few more of these smaller, more manageable boxes. We'll start with this one from Asrock, because Asrock always sort of serve up some very cool and exciting products. Most likely motherboards, but you never know. Okay, there's a FedEx box that feels like it has another box in it. So we are actually unboxing boxes to be unboxed on this episode of Unboxing Boxes. As advertised. Oh, well, we have a very cool box here. Yep, got one of them. I've still got the Gigabyte X399 Aorus Gaming 9 sitting down here in the box. I haven't had a chance to look at that yet. Got to clear a few things out, it's getting a bit out of hand. So we'll take a look at the X399 Fatality Gaming board in a minute. We have another board here, I think, in another box. Well, they're both AMD motherboards, but they could not be at more opposite ends of the motherboard spectrum. Alright. We have a little A320M Pro 4, and that is obviously designed mostly to take advantage of the new Ryzen 3 CPUs, the R3 1200 and 1300X, and that will definitely be priced under $100 US. So we'll check that in a second. And then we have this guy, and a bit of tape. Alright, I dare say most of you are probably wanting to have a quick look at this board, so we'll do that. I won't spend too long on it because we did just look at the Taichi board, which is it's sitting right there as a matter of fact. And I know this board is very similar. It's themed slightly differently, so I won't even bother taking it out of the foam. I'll chuck up some B-roll of it so you guys can get a better look. So in terms of features, this is pretty much what we've seen from the Taichi. It's essentially the exact same board. Like I said, it's just themed a bit differently, look a bit differently. The main things, to my knowledge, that they've changed or rather added is it now has Creative Sound Blaster Cinema 3 audio support. So you get the Creative software and it lets you do a few fancy audio related things. And probably one of the bigger upgrades, especially if you're doing like a workstation build or something, which is a little ironic since this is the gaming version, and this really isn't a gaming feature, is 10 gigabit Ethernet. Definitely more of a workstation productivity PC type thing than gaming, and you also still keep the two Intel gigabit network controllers as well with this board, so there'll be 3 RJ45 connectors on the I/O panel. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit silly putting gaming in the word for any X399 board, but I get why they do it, because there'll no doubt be still many gamers with deep pockets looking for a cool motherboard, and yeah, this is a very cool one. So anyway, yeah, you get all the other stuff, the 3 Ultra.M2 ports, the 4 PCI Express times 16 slots, though it looks like again the 2nd and 4th slot are only wide for 8 times bandwidth, 8 SATA ports, a U.2, 8 DIMMs of course take advantage of the quad channel memory, 11 phase VRM, and because this does have the 10 gigabit Ethernet solution on it and I suppose the slightly better audio, it is around $100 more than the Taichi. I think this board is $440 US and you're paying about $340 US for the Taichi, and that works out to be about $690 for this board in Australia or $560 for the Taichi. So yeah, basically if you want 10 times the 10 times the network throughput over the Taichi, then you want this. And it is cheaper than buying a standalone 10 gigabit Ethernet expansion card. So yeah, anyway, no doubt a very cool board, and I'll be featuring that on the channel soon in a few videos. Onto the little guy. So I have looked up the price of this board, and I obviously haven't tested it or even used it yet. I just took it out of the box just a second ago, but I already sort of have mixed feelings about it. And the reason for that is because I don't really like the A320 boards to begin with, because I am a PC enthusiast like many of you, and I do like to do things like overclock, and that's why I like the R3 1200, because it's $20 cheaper than the 1300X. You can save 20 bucks, overclock it to at least 1300X level of performance, but generally quite a bit more, and you can do that at all no additional cost while saving $20. With this board, the 1300X possibly makes more sense. I don't know, I'll have to do that testing. It's at least similar in terms of value. This is about the only reason why you would buy a 1300X board, is if you bought a cheaper A320 that you couldn't overclock with, so you wanted to get the extra performance by getting the CPU with the higher clock multiplier out of the box. The issue is you can buy B350 boards starting for around $60. Definitely $70 will get you a good B350 board. This board here, I believe, right now is selling for $65 US, and it isn't on sale in Australia yet, but it'll be at least $100 Aussie. So $65 US for an A320 board. And you can get B350 boards starting at $60. So I don't know. I can't think of a reason why you would buy this board. Asrock's going to hate me for saying that, because they just sent me the board and say, hey, check it out and unbox it. And I'm like, I don't know why you buy it. But yeah, it does have 4 DIMM slots, which the cheaper boards, I think they start at like $40 now. And I think actually no, that could be wrong, maybe $50. Yeah, don't rush out and try and buy one for 40. I think they're $50 US. They're definitely no more than that. And you can get, I think Asrock are offering the A320M HDV and the A320M DGS, and then just the A320M. And all those boards are $50, I believe. So $15 US cheaper than this board. They do only have 2 DIMM slots. This has 4, so it does have more flexible memory support, but then again, you get 4 DIMMs for, I think it's about $10 more, and you get a B350 board. So I guess the easiest way to look at it is you can buy Ryzen 3 1300X plus this board for just under $200 US. And yeah, plug it in, it just works. Or for basically the same price, or even slightly cheaper, let's say the same price, you can get a B350 board with the 1200, change one setting in the BIOS and achieve greater performance. So as a PC enthusiast, this doesn't make any sense, but I could see why some people might buy it. Have I ranted enough and sort of destroyed this board enough, do you think? Or should we just move on? Let's just move on. Apologies, Asrock. Yeah, send me one of the cheap boards and I'll do a build with that. Alright, let's see if I can be a bit more positive about this board. The X399 board though is awesome. Very cool workstation board. Alright, getting back to what we have here, whatever we have here, it's a white FedEx bag. Let's, I think I can just tear this one open. Ha, didn't even need my blunt knife. Get out of here. You ready? Da, 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 da. That's the back of the box. Creative sound card. It's actually a very cool one. I don't believe this is available in Australia yet. Brian over at Tech Yes City reviewed it not that long ago and absolutely loved it. He's a bit of an audio buff. Camera battery just went flat. Where was I? Yes, right. So Brian over at Tech Yes City did a review on this quite some time ago now, over a month ago. He got an early sample. The Creative offered me one around the same time, but I passed because I'm not big into the sound card stuff. Not my area of expertise, but I let Brian take care of that one. And as it turns out, it's actually an extremely good sound card. He absolutely loved it. And yeah, since then it's pretty much got rave reviews across the internet. So if you're looking for a sound card, this may be the one to get. Now, being that this is a sound card, I know what you're thinking, and yes, it does have loads of RGB lighting. So you can tick that checkbox. It's an RGB bonanza. It's quite a cute little neatly wrapped static bag there. Maximum static bag points. Looks like you even have to tear it open, it's that tightly packed. Okay. So for those of you who think sound cards are boring and unnecessary and yada yada yada, well, have you seen a sound card that looks like this? And just wait, because once you plug this in, I'll definitely throw some B-roll up of this plugged in, because it is a very impressive looking sound card. But of course, sound cards aren't about flashy lights and looking pretty, they're about delivering really nice, crisp audio. And apparently that's exactly what this does. So for those of you sitting there wondering why it's so good, well, it does support 32-bit 384 kilohertz playback, and it does that using the ESS ES9016 K2M Saber solution. So yeah, it's very impressive. A couple of things that Brian focused on, or at least what really impressed him about it, was things like the crosstalk. There was just no leak there. It didn't, the left and right channels didn't merge or blend or, you know, as I said, leak at all. It was the lowest crosstalk he's ever seen from a sound card solution, so he was absolutely blown away by that. He found things like bass and all that sort of stuff to just be awesome through it. And whenever it comes to audio stuff, I usually follow what Brian says. He hasn't set me wrong yet, so I will be plugging this in later today and seeing how it sounds, and also be testing the mic inputs and stuff like that as well, doing a bit of recording with it. Yeah, pretty cool sound card. Of course, for such, it is an extremely premium sound card. It is rather expensive. I don't have official Australian pricing, though it is available on eBay for $240 Australian, so yeah, quite pricey, and it's about $150 US. But if you like high quality audio, then this will smoke whatever onboard audio you can get, even on the very best motherboards. Before I wrap this up, there is one more thing I want to touch on, but I just realized I don't even know if I've told you guys what it's called. I've talked about the price and a few features. Random unboxing. Anyway, it is the Sound Blaster AE5, and it is Creative's first ever sound card to feature what they call X-Amp technology, and that is a custom designed discrete headphone amplifier. Each channel is individually amplified, allowing it to deliver, as well, in Creative's words, pristine audio quality. But as I said, Brian found very little crosstalk or virtually none to speak of, and was blown away by the audio quality. So there you go, a quick little look at it. I'm going to plug it in later and check it out. I don't know if I'll review it, because like I said, I'm not really a serious audiophile like Brian is, but I totally take his word. He knows his stuff when it comes to audio, and this sort of stuff really excites him. The only drawback I see with this product is the fact that I think, and don't quote me on this, I will have to confirm it and do a bit of research, but I think for the RGB lighting to work, because it is all 5-volt stuff, you need to plug in a 4-pin Mullix connector, which is a bit ugh. I mean, if you have to have an external power, try to use SATA these days, guys. The 4-pin Mullix cables suck. But anyway, apart from that, yeah, good looking sound card. Of course, you don't have to have the RGB lighting on. Some people may prefer not to. And yeah, on a final note, the RGB lighting can be tied into your motherboards, you know, MSI Mystic lighting, ASUS Aura, and all that sort of stuff. We have 2 boxes left. Let's get into them. Oh. Oh. Okay, they're very heavy. Unusually heavy. Oh yeah. Oh, it's about time, seriously. I've been left out in the cold for so long now. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's about time. I tweeted out the other day that I want to do a 30 game benchmark looking at Vega64 and the 64 cards that I was expecting to receive soon. Looks like soon is now. And I'm going to get benchmarking very, very shortly. Alright, so let's see what we got here anyway. I don't actually know what AMD has sent. Okay, so no clue so far as to what is in here, but it is an AMD Radeon RX Vega graphics card of some description. Hopefully it's not another 56 card. Okay, I believe... I honestly have no idea which way we're at. Okay, the whole thing just falls apart. You guys have seen guys unbox these. You know how it works. I didn't actually watch any of them because I was too busy trying to catch up. That's cool. Feel like I'm a bit late to the party on the whole unboxing Vega though. There's stuff in here, something there. Okay. Okay, I hope that's not a Vega56 card. Vega64. Alright, that's very, very exciting. Very exciting. Late to the party, but still very excited to get testing that. AMD and their creative packaging these days. How do I put this all back together? Stay. Oh. Okay, there you go. Back together. Alright, let's put that aside. Alright, final package. Final package. What are we at, like 30 minutes? Okay. Actually, since this one's open the way it has, I'll share it with you guys. The first look at what we have. The money shot, as it's officially referred to now. Are you ready? Brace yourselves. Huh. Another Radeon RX Vega box. What do we have in this one? Oh. Oh. I wasn't sure if I was getting one of these. I don't think there are many of these in the country at the moment. Even now, a week, kind of a week after release. Okay, so this is another fall apart and everything goes everywhere style box. Very practical, I like it. Oh no, it's not actually, I take it back. It's a hey, we just open like a box. You ready? Here we go. Vega! Alright, that wasn't that exciting, I'll admit. And I'm far from the first person to ever, wow. Oh, look, I get another thing. Cool. Actually, I didn't put the other one around. There you go. 2 giant acrylic block things. Alright, I've got some testing to do here. What is in these? Is it just like a power adapter or something? Oh, wow. That's cool. I'll get some B-roll of that. I honestly didn't watch a single RX Vega unboxing, so I have no idea what others got with it. But here, like sort of what we got with Threadripper, here is a Vega die. So that's basically Vega64 there, the full silicon. Vega56 will be the same, and then 2 HBM stacks. So that's super cool. I wonder. I kind of want to go back into this one now. Is there anything in this one? Oh, there is. Awesome. I got 2. Yay, what a win. They're actually slightly different. Wonder what that's all about. Anyway, you guys are probably sitting there going, Steve, we've seen all this before from 40 other reviewers. But whatever, it's new to me. Finally. Wow, that is an awesome looking graphics card. So cool. Well, I'm out of here. See you guys. I'm gonna go benchmark.